Hi, warriors. This is Jalen Megahead, my legal warrior. And guess what? The court has just released, as of today, March 26, 2020, some amazing news for individuals that can't afford to retain the services of an attorney during this time, and for individuals that just are like, I don't know how to fill out these forms. They're complicated. I'm overwhelmed, and I just need somebody to do them for me. Well, like I said, great news. The court just published that they are offering self-help services for individuals that want to represent themselves in the restraining order process. And so it doesn't change too much as to what services the courts are providing, but we're going to take a look at it together, actually. So I got this from the Superior Court of California's website, County of San Diego, and this paragraph right here is one of the more important paragraphs. So it's saying, in light of the limited courthouse access because of the current public health order, the Superior Court has contracted service providers such as the Legal Aid Society of San Diego, the San Diego Volunteers Lawyers Program, which, by the way, my legal warrior volunteers her time with the San Diego Volunteers Lawyers Program, specifically the Domestic Violence Restraining Order Clinic. So this holds something near and dear to my heart to help those individuals that are victims of domestic violence and just can't afford the services of a attorney. So I love volunteering my time for these sort of causes, and I'm very happy and pleased to read that the San Diego Volunteers Lawyers Program are going to be allowed to assist individuals with restraining orders at this time. So the court's allowing them to offer alternative services to their on-site clinic so that the self-represented litigants can obtain the relief needed to remain safe while also adhering to social distancing guidelines to mitigate the community spread of COVID-19 virus. So these alternatives are going to include telephonic services. So if you need assistance with an emergency matter, it provides the Legal Aid of Society of San Diego's phone number, the San Diego Volunteers Lawyers Program phone number, and then it's providing staff at courthouses for walk-ins to assist with the restraining order matters. So there's going to be staff at the 1100 Union Street address. There's going to be staff at the 500 3rd Avenue address. There's going to be staff at the 250 East Main Street address, and there's certainly going to be staff at the 325 South Melrose Drive address. And so this is great news for, again, people that just want to represent themselves, can't retain the attorney at this moment in time due to loss of income, loss of job, whatever the issue might be. And so this, again, amazing news for the public, because it is essential to provide relief for individuals that wouldn't otherwise have this relief. So the rest of this is essentially the same as it was before. One family law judge at each branch is going to go ahead and review the emergency request for a temporary restraining order and issue the restraining order for you. So, in filing these restraining orders, it does take a while to be issued one. And I only say that because I don't want individuals that already have their restraining order already available just going in to file, thinking that it's going to be like a 10-minute process. There's a lot of people, unfortunately, filing for restraining orders, but also fortunately that they are, because they are taking measures into their own hands and protecting themselves, which is very important to protect yourself as well as any other individuals that live in your household, including your children. So this is amazing news for the County of San Diego, that they are getting that relief for individuals. And just the same way that, people that can't necessarily afford to retain an attorney to complete a restraining order packet, now we have self-help assistance available. And I just wanted to add one more thing here, though, is that the courts aren't the only ones that can issue restraining orders. The police department, actually, so if you do call the police, they have the authority to issue an emergency protective order right then and there. If they believe that it rises to the level of an emergency protective order, it only lasts for a few days. And so the point of it is to keep the other party away from you and to deter them from the abusive conduct towards you. And so it does happen. I mean, they can issue one to you without you having to go to the courthouse to file for a domestic violence restraining order. They're not handed out as easily or frequently as the domestic violence restraining order through the Superior Court. So if you don't receive one, maybe because you can ask for one, but if you don't receive one and you didn't ask, maybe that's why you didn't receive one, or they just felt this did not rise to the level of an emergency protective order and that you could file one at a later time. So there's different scenarios where that could, play out. If there's, physical abuse, and it's pretty, you can see it, they can actually see that there has been physical abuse, and the police officers can go ahead and see that, then the police officers are more likely than not going to be willing to issue on their own for an emergency protective order. But when you make these house calls, the police officers, when they make these house calls and they don't see that it rises to the level of an emergency protective order at that point in time, then they will direct you to file a restraining order through the courthouse. And so if you're represented on your own, great, go to the courthouse and use the family law facilitator's office. They might be very busy, so you should also try doing it telephonically through the Legal Aid Society, as well as the San Diego Volunteers Lawyers Program. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to our segment. And if you found this helpful, please share with friends or family. You never know who actually might find this to be helpful now. And maybe their friends or family might find this to be helpful. So please share it. Please be safe, be well, and as always, do what is in the best interest of you and your family. Be safe. All right. Goodbye, warriors.